Turkey, on the southeastern Turkey border with Syria. It's an incredibly tense time politically. There's a lot of military activity, etc. So it's not exactly the safest place to be. But I feel incredibly safe, actually. Really, really protected. I'm here at Gobeklitepe, which is the site of what is so-called the world's oldest temple. That's until we find another older one, I guess. We don't know what the oldest one actually is. This is the one we know about. Incredible site. It's a limestone ridge. It's in an arid, huge plain. We've got a 360-degree horizon. The stars would have been fantastic. They took the limestone ridge, and the ancients, 10,500 years BC, piled tons and tons and tons of earth on top of it. They wanted to be even higher, so they obviously wanted to commune with the sky, or be a conduit between the sky and the earth. They created a situation where they're bringing heaven and earth together, the perfect marriage. And my mind then goes to the huge prominence of Juno at the moment. The goddess or energy Juno, Hera, as she was known in Greece. Juno was the wife of Zeus, and there is a lot of mythology about their relationship together. They could be intensely loving, intensely besotted with each other. There is a wonderful painting of Zeus lying on a couch, and he's looking helplessly up at Hera, who is commanding the situation with her bare breasts and her long blonde hair and her exotic, enticing sexual look. And I'm really kind of mulling over the role of women. Women aren't treated very well in many countries around the globe. Women get a raw deal. In many cases, they're second-class citizens. They're required in Turkey to be submissive. Women are not expected to laugh out loud in public. My shoulders must be covered as I'm walking round. And Turkish women, for instance, wouldn't ever dream of doing anything political, going for political stuff. It appears that in civilization, the greater complexity of the hierarchy, the greater political nature of civilization, then the lower women score in this. Then, this is when women lose their status. When we had smaller communities, smaller groups, such as we think we had when we look at this area, and when the archaeologist is there digging out this area, they get a sense of small communities. In those communities, it is likely that women had a much more equal position, but I don't see that equality as being they had the same job as a man. I think women have, and this is what women should understand about each other, as I consider Juno here, it's about how a woman can be with a man. It's about how she can make a man feel. A woman introduces a man to trust, to sharing, to complexity, to intimacy, and eventually to joy. And these things cannot be enjoyed on your own. These things should be shared. And when we share, when a woman entices a man and offers him a new dimension of himself, then she introduces him to new dimensions of life, of his spirituality, of his emotions. And I think women should be valued for that role, for the importance of that role. Juno, in astrology, the asteroid Juno, she symbolises completely the complexity of relating, and that's right the way through, from when you first meet a man, and then you go all the way through to dating and courtship and marriage eventually. Juno presides over all of it. She is there on the day you get married, she's there on the day your divorce papers arrive. She's very much involved in the relationship cycle. And I think women should take from that a sense of their own importance, because only a woman can bring a woman's view into relating. So I think women should get a sense of how beautiful they are, a beautiful place. It's certainly been a pleasure to be here. I've just been down into the Gobeklitepe enclosures, and I got a sense there of being dominated by these huge monoliths, these great big stones, these beautiful animals carved on these pillars. Astonishing that the ancients did all this. If the rituals that went on in those enclosures were a celebration of the marriage of heaven and earth, then it is likely that a man and a woman acted out these rituals in front of an audience in the enclosure, in order possibly to join with nature, to take it and to be a conduit, to embrace sexuality, and embrace that joining together. And I think a woman has to celebrate her role in that as being the enticer and the exciter of the phallus. I mean, certainly in that temple I was overwhelmed by the sense of power and strength, and it makes you feel like a woman, to be honest with you. So you can get a sense of giving homage to both the submission and the dominance. Always there is an emitter and there is a receiver, and I think women need to take the job of the receiver, if you like, the empath, the mediator, the communicator, and embrace it with more pride. You know, we've got something here that we should be very proud of. Thank you for listening. It's a great pleasure to talk to you. Bye.